Welcome to Turn the Page, the official podcast of the Syosset Public Library.
Hello, everybody. This is Evelyn Hershkowitz, Reader Services Librarian at the Syosset Public Library's Turn the Page podcast. And today we have with us Holly James, who wrote the Deja Glitch, which comes out on August 1st. Thank you, Holly, for joining us so much. I really appreciate it.
Hello, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And this is Holly's second book. Her first book was Nothing But the Truth, which came out last year. And this one, the Deja Glitch, it's gotten very nice reviews from lots of people. One is Jodi Picoult, which is wonderful.
Yeah, very exciting.
She said if Love Actually and Groundhog Day had a child, it would be this sweet rom-com of a novel about how moving forward sometimes means starting over and over again until you get it right. So that was great. So let me just tell a little bit about Holly. Holly holds a PhD in psychology and has worked in both academia and the tech industry. She loves telling stories with big hearts and a touch of magic. She currently lives in Southern California with her husband and dog, and her debut, Nothing But the Truth, was published in 2022. So thank you, Holly. So tell us what this book is about.
Yeah, so this book is, it's a little more of a, well, it's a lot more of a romance than Nothing But the Truth was. I think Nothing But the Truth was kind of more women's fiction, but this is a true rom-com. And this book, The Deja Glitch, is about a couple in Los Angeles who are stuck in a 24-hour time loop, and they have to fall in love so they can break out of the loop. They don't start as a couple; they start as strangers, kind of strangers. You'll find out that they're not actually strangers once it goes along, but they have to fall in love in order to break out of the time loop. And the catch is that Jack, our hero, can remember the entire loop, and Gemma feels like every day is the first day that they've met. So he basically has a single day to convince her to fall in love with him. And it was a lot of fun to write, to play with all the tropes. And I really enjoyed kind of flipping the time loop trope on its head. There are a lot of time loop stories where you see the same day over and over. Right. And I didn't want to do that. So I thought really creatively about how I could not do that and still have it be a time loop story. So it was really fun to take it from that angle. And this whole story actually takes place in one day. So we only see a single day of the loop because we see it from Gemma's perspective. And it feels like the first time everything has happened to her.
Right. So yeah, because Gemma doesn't remember Jack.
Right.
Things start coming to her once in a while, but basically she doesn't remember Jack. And Jack remembers and knows everything about Gemma. So
exactly.
A little freaked out by that, huh?
Yeah. So the first time we meet them, they've been stuck in the loop for 5 months at that point, and Jack is just completely in love with her, and she doesn't know who he is. And that was the original kind of hook for the idea for the story. That's what came to me, is I wanted to tell a story about a couple where one person couldn't remember the other person in a comedic way, just to kind of play with that and see what kind of, how their bond could survive something like that. I was imagining, like my husband coming up to me one day and I was like, "Who are you?" Right. And then him having to convince me. I thought that would just be a fun story to tell. And it was.
How long did it take you to write this book?
This one came to me really quickly. I actually wrote it in the summer of 2021. So it's been 2 years since I actually drafted it initially. And gosh, I think, I don't know, not very long. Maybe like six to 8 weeks. I don't know. I got,
oh my gosh,
it came to me and I got so obsessed with it. It just came pouring out. Yeah.
Did you have a 2-book deal, or did you have to sell this one also?
Sell this one also. So this one was actually the option for my first book, but it was really exciting. So yeah, I had my first book was a 1-book deal, and then this one we submitted to my publisher to consider, and they actually offered on it in 4 days. It was It was wild. Yeah, I remember. So I live in California, and all of publishing is in New York.
Right.
And my agent called me I think she was waiting for it to be a reasonable hour here, because she called me at like 8:01 a.m. that day, and I was so excited. I remember I was running around the house. I like woke my husband up; he was still asleep. but yeah, I learned of the deal very, very quickly after we shared it with them, which was very exciting. So they've been
Well,
very enthusiastic about it from the start.
did you always want to be an author? Because you've had other careers, I'm assuming.
I did, yeah. So I actually
Your
I went to
doctorate in psychology. So
yeah, I went to graduate school for something completely different. But I've always been a super voracious reader from my childhood all through my whole life. And I used to kind of dabble in creative writing when I was a kid, and to a lesser extent when I was going through my undergraduate and graduate studies, because I was so heavily involved in science and research. And I think the creative side of my brain was really craving an outlet still. So I did start writing again, like novel length stories in graduate school, just not really thinking anything would ever come out of it. And then I think it was toward the end of my PhD program that I finished something of novel length and kind of thought like, maybe I should pursue this. And that's when I really started, looking into the traditional publishing route and just seeing what it entailed, and learning some hard lessons there about how hard it is to break into publishing. And it took me several years before I signed with a literary agent. And then yeah, a couple attempts at selling books, and then we finally found the sweet spot of what genre I wanted to write, and who my target audience would be. And then I ended up selling my first book in, what was it? It was January of 2021, I think, was when my debut sold. Yeah.
very nice.
And now here we are.
Yeah, and what did you do before?
Before I was writing? Well, I was in school forever. So I finished my degree in 2017. And then I briefly did a postdoctoral fellowship, and then I went into the tech industry. So I actually work, my day job, I work as a research scientist for a sleep science company, actually. So completely different than
you're still
writing.
working?
I am, yeah. I actually have to go to work right after this.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. I'm glad. Okay, so you're not ready to give up your day job yet, huh?
I mean, that's the dream, right? I don't know. It's
yeah.
I get asked that a lot, and I think about it a lot. And I think because I went to school for so long, and I have have had such rigorous training in science, that like that part of my brain needs that outlet too. So I think I would miss it if I gave up that aspect of my career and life as well. So right now I'm still able to find a balance between the two, but we'll see. I don't know if my writing career really takes off. I might have to reconsider things.
Well, I think there's probably a book
crossed.
in there with the sleep study, no?
I mean, sure.
It's got to be something in there that you can fit that in for a rom-com with sleep study, and they meet at the sleep study place or
at a sleep lab.
Yeah, at a sleep lab. Yeah, there's something there. That should be your next one. I'm sure you're busy working on the next one already, huh?
I am, yeah. So my third book actually will come out next summer, and it's currently in edits. I hope it's about to go to copy edits. I just submitted the revised draft to my editor a couple weeks ago. And then the next step will be copy edits, assuming that it passes this round of revisions.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's great. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah.
When do you have time to write?
Good question. Weekends mostly. I write. Yeah, I spend pretty much all weekend writing, and depending on how early my day job meetings start, I work from home, 4 days a week, and only go into my office 1 day a week. So that allows for some flexibility, not having to commute. So I have more time in the mornings and evenings. So I usually get up pretty early and do some writing and publishing related work in the morning, and then if I have enough energy still at the end of the day, I do it in the evening as well. But yeah, mostly weekends is when I fit everything in.
Wow, good for you. That's a busy schedule, huh?
It is, but I like it. I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think both careers kind of need each other, like, because the timelines in publishing are just so long. A production timeline from a book is literally 18 months to 2 years from the time you sell it to when it goes through editing and revisions and copy edits and actual publication and all of that. It just takes so long. And so it's kind of nice to have it broken up by my other career, I guess, to balance it out and to balance out all the waiting, because I'm personally a pretty pretty impatient person. So I know I picked the wrong industry for someone who
Yeah,
likes instant gratification.
right,
But
exactly. We all
yeah,
crave instant gratification, but yeah, it takes a long time with the book.
definitely.
There's no doubt about that one. Wow. But I'm enjoying it. It's a very good story. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, thank you. Yeah, a couple, I guess, like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to tell a story around a couple where one person couldn't remember the other person. And I kind of, when I'm writing, when I come up with any idea, I usually kind of get the idea for the hook, and then I have to wait a little while to figure out what the actual plot is going to be. That's one place that I kind of struggle still. Like, oh, that's such a good idea, but then okay, turn it into a 300-page story. I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the story
Right.
is. Um, but this one, I remember I had that idea of wanting to tell that story of where one person couldn't remember the other, and then it was actually in the summer of 2021. The song "Deja Vu" by Olivia Rodrigo was super
Uh-huh.
popular, and I remember driving in my car one day and hearing it on the radio, and I had this like aha moment of, oh, deja vu is the perfect kind of avenue into telling this story, because as you know from the beginning of the book, Gemma gets these little kind of like flashbacks of memory, feeling like, oh, I've been here before, this is
Right.
familiar, but I'm not sure why.
Right.
um, so that kind of joined with the original concept, and then the time loop. I don't remember making a conscious decision that it was going to be a time loop story. It just kind of happened. I think it when I was thinking of how to incorporate deja vu, I was thinking maybe she's having deja vu because she's been here before and can't remember it, and that's
Mhm.
where I think that's where the time loop came into it. So yeah, all three of those things kind of intertwined together to turn into this quirky little love story.
Do you like writing rom-coms or women's fiction better? Which do you prefer?
I feel like it's been a really interesting journey. So actually, I started as a thriller writer when I
Oh,
first signed with my agent. Yeah, so my first book was a thriller. That's my favorite genre to read. I love kind of the trying to solve a puzzle aspect of reading a thriller. I'm always trying to figure out what's happening, and
right.
so I love writing those as well. But I've learned, so the first book we tried to sell, my agent and I tried to sell, that one it didn't sell. And then from there, I moved more into women's fiction. Or that's when I wrote Nothing But the Truth, was actually during the pandemic when everything was locked down and we were all kind of losing our minds.
Yes.
And that one was really a kind of an outlet of, I just wanted something joyous and happy because the world was so strange.
Mhm.
So that's when I wrote that one. But I have realized that even when I was writing thrillers, I kind of gravitated toward the emotional, relational elements of those stories. So I think it was kind of always in there that I was going to write romance, and I just wasn't aware of it until I actually tried to do it.
Right.
So yeah, I really do. It's really fun. Um, I mean, yeah, just writing something so joyous and happy and kind of going on the emotional journey with the characters. And I found too that the romance reader community is just so generous. They're just happy and they want to be happy and they love stories, and it's so fun to kind of, you know, I've tried my best to understand, what tropes people really really love and really gravitate toward and what they really want to see, and what, as a reader myself, when I read something and it just makes me, like squeal with joy, like I try to put those moments into my books, because I think that's what the audience comes for. They want to feel that happiness and that joy. So yes, it creates a lot. Creating joy brings me a lot of joy, I guess
That's
I
nice.
can
That's
say.
yeah. Do you read your reviews?
No. I
Well,
try
I'll
not to.
let you know that
I
on
mean,
Goodreads, everybody who's gotten advanced copies on Goodreads is loving it. So just so you know, it's
I
a
thank
good
you.
thing.
No, I sometimes it's unavoidable. I get tagged in a lot of reviews on
Right.
social media,
Right.
and I honestly have a moment of like, oh, do I want to read this? I don't know. But they have been really favorable for this one. But I do have some other author friends where for each other we'll go seek out a perfect 5-star review and share it with each other, just kind of
Uh-huh.
as a emotional boost.
Right. No,
Because
that's
it can
always a
be,
good
yeah,
thing.
it can be kind of, yeah, jarring, definitely, when you come across someone who really didn't enjoy it. And yeah, it's not fun to read those ones.
Now, what about going on a tour for this book? Are you going to be doing that?
A small local tour.
Okay.
So yeah, I actually have some events starting tomorrow. Yeah, another group of author friends put together this really fantastic event up in the LA area for local romance writers, and we have this 3-day event starting
Oh
tomorrow
my
and going
gosh,
through the
I want to
weekend.
come. Who's going to be
Yeah.
there?
I know it's going to be so fun. Well, it's all over Instagram. If you
Yeah.
follow me or the happy to meet cute podcast group, they have put all this together. And I think we have, I forget how many. It's like 20 something authors, maybe more than that.
Wow.
And it's split out between adult romance writers, and then YA romance writers will be on Sunday. So that should be really fun.
Can
And
you name
then
drop a
next,
few of the names that are going to be there?
oh sure, yeah, I know well, the organizers are Courtney Kay and Fallon Ballard.
Oh, I
And
read Fallon
then
Ballard. Okay.
yeah, I love them. I know Alyssa Sussman's going to be there.
I read her too.
Susan Lee is going to be there. Who else? There's so many. I wish I had the list with me.
Oh, okay.
It'll be good.
Yeah, no,
It'll be
that
good.
sounds great.
Yeah, and then next weekend. So my book actually comes out this coming Tuesday,
Right.
which is what,
August
4 or
1st.
5 days from now. Ooh,
Yeah.
so soon. So then the weekend after that, on the 5th, I'm doing a launch event at a bookstore in San Diego,
Very
which
nice.
I'm also excited about. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's great. Do you hang out with some of these authors? Are they your friends?
Actually, I recently have started to, and it's been so exciting. So I'm relatively new to the area down here. I lived here for a few years, and I don't know too many other people, but like I said, the romance community is just so welcoming, the readers and the writers. And I met Fallon Ballard I went to her book launch, and I just awkwardly introduced myself to her.
Yeah.
And now, it's always awkward when you meet someone in person who you've only ever interacted with on the internet. I didn't, don't really know what to say other than like, hi, I know you from Instagram,
Right.
But she was so kind and generous, and she kind of introduced me to the rest of this group that I now know in the Los Angeles area. And yeah, and there's a really great community in San Diego as well. I didn't know of writers, so I'm still very new to both groups, but it's been great to get to know people.
That's
and of course,
great.
I'm starstruck.
Not that you have time. I don't know where you even have time if you're working a full-time job and writing in your spare time, which you don't seem to have a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot. It seems everything related to this book at least has been crammed into the last weekend and this weekend and next weekend. I've had just nonstop events. But it's great. I mean, it's why we do it, to get to connect with readers and other writers. And it's so exciting.
Right. And I saw those bookmarks on Instagram and
they're so cute.
And the sticker of Rex, the dog.
Yes, that all just arrived yesterday, and I ripped it open like it was Christmas morning. I was so excited.
And those are going with you to this 3-day affair?
Yes.
Oh,
hand out with books.
You'll be handing all that out. That's nice. That's nice. And let's talk about the cover. What a great cover.
I know, it's so pretty. I love it.
Yeah, the colors are great. Everything about it is just so cute.
It's actually you can thank my husband for it being blue, because it was originally orange. And we asked to see a blue version of it, and he was the one that was like, that's the one.
Yeah, because orange with the yellow shirt and the yellow shoes, I don't know how they'd have to
well, their clothes were different colors too,
okay.
But it was primarily orange.
No, nice
but I love the blue.
Yeah, can they fall in love before time runs out? That's it's a beautiful cover. Very nice. Really, really like it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how they were going to visually depict like the time loop element of it, but I love it.
I think in a book, I think this cover in a bookstore will definitely draw people to it.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah, no, I really see that. It's great. It's a great cover. The colors and the guy and the girl, everything about it. It's definitely going to draw people in. It's a good cover. And I wasn't able to get the advanced audiobook, but I did listen to a tiny little snippet on Overdrive, and it sounds like a good audiobook too.
Oh, I haven't even
Have you
heard that.
gotten
That's
that yet?
exciting.
Have you
No,
gotten?
I haven't. I haven't gotten it yet. No, the last I it was in production last I heard was
Okay,
being recorded. So
right.
yeah. Oh,
And
no,
for
I'm
those
excited.
of
I'll
our,
have to go look for it.
yeah, for those of our listeners, it will be available on Overdrive, in ebook and audiobook, and of course, we'll have the print copy here. If you'd like to put it on hold, just give a call to the Reader Services desk, and we'll be happy to put it on hold for you. So,
Excellent.
yeah, and I will be passing it on after I'm done with it. I promise it'll go on its way to another avid reader who loves her rom-com. So,
Great. Well, thank
ever
you.
since the pandemic, that's really all I want to read.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Yeah, I think there's been definitely a boom in
Yeah.
more lighthearted stories
Right.
that people want to consume.
Right. It's nice to have a happy ending. It really is.
Yep.
So what thrillers have you read recently that you've really liked?
Oh gosh, let's see. Just finished Megan Collins' new one, Thicker Than Water. That one was
Mhm.
really good. Um, I read Riley Sager's new one also,
Okay.
Only One Left.
He's a fan
I
favorite
have,
around here.
oh yeah. I know we actually have the same publisher, and I'm
Oh,
always like want to leverage that in some way to like
right,
meet
of
him, but
course.
I haven't figured it out yet.
He actually came here. He did come here.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
we had him here quite a few books ago, way before the pandemic even. But yeah, he was great.
I always love his books.
Mhm.
What else?
Did you read
Those are the two most recent.
The Senator's Wife by Liv
No,
Constantine yet? That was
I
very
haven't. That's
that was a
good.
very
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
I have, yeah, we're actually my husband and I are taking a vacation in early September, and I have a literal stack of like 10
Right.
books that I'm gonna
Yeah,
take with me. And
that's my most difficult thing when I go on vacation. What book am I saving for vacation?
yes.
And how many books am I taking with me? Yes.
Exactly. I know. And then I always end up buying more books on
Oh
vacation
gosh.
because we'll wander into a bookstore and I'll
Right.
see, a friend's book or something I want. And I always end
Yeah.
up having to pack more home.
Right. I always have to go into that bookstore. I can't miss that at all. That's my favorite part. Are there good bookstores in San Diego?
Oh, there are definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot. We have so the one where my launch event is happening next weekend is the Meet Cute Romance Bookshop, and they just
Oh, I
opened
have to get
last
to that.
September. It's so cute. It's an all romance bookstore, and they have this really fabulous mural painted on the wall that is all like the tropes from different romance. Oh, it's so cute. It's such a cute little store. I'm really excited to have my event there.
Yeah, that sounds great. When I'm there, I'm definitely gonna make sure I get to that one.
Yeah,
Hopefully there'll
definitely.
be at the time I'm there, hopefully there'll be some other author, or maybe even you. When's your next book come out? Is it in
Yeah, they
June?
have next summer. I've seen a tentative date of July
Oh, okay.
31st, but who
Yeah,
knows? It always changes.
yeah. I'll be out there earlier than that, but hopefully there'll be another author that'll be presenting their book while I am out there, and I'd love to go to that.
I'm sure. Yeah, they have a lot of events.
Yeah. Oh, that
It's a
sounds
great,
so great.
great place.
That's great. Wow, I wish we had a bookstore like that around here.
Well, I think where are you located?
I'm on Long Island. I'm not in the city, so.
Okay. Yeah, I know that the Ripped Bodice is a romance specific store in LA, and I know they're opening a second location in Brooklyn, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
In August, really soon. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That store's great. They have the one up in Culver City down here. They have really great events. I just went to one there last weekend. It's a really fun spot.
Good. Okay. Well, I wish you luck with this book and your tour, and that 3-day event sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Thank you so much for joining us, Holly. It was great speaking with you.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was great to be here.
Okay, thanks. Have a great time and good luck with everything.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Thank you so much.
It's time to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Join us for the next episode.